start this. We're going to work on our stories tonight. And if you have background noise, you can mute. I'm not going to mute you guys unless you're making a lot of noise, because I want this to feel like an interactive call that we're all at, not just us talking to dead air. Okay, so the story. Why is the story important? The story is important because guess what? We don't advertise, do we? What is our advertisement? Us talking, right? So if we're talking to someone, it's called The Wellness Experience by Paul Zane Pilzer. Way back, Jules, you're going to look at that article by Paul Zane Pilzer talking about the next trillion-dollar industry, saying that network marketing and wellness are emerging of two awesome worlds because you use the wellness experience. You share with a friend one-on-one. And that's really how our business is born, you know? And so you have many opportunities to share your story. And I think we have a lot of missed opportunities. Do you guys agree? I can think of one that I missed tonight as I was reviewing in my mind what we were going to talk about prior to the call. I thought, oh, I did have an opportunity because this one guy was really tired at racquetball. And he's like very athletic, but he said he was tired. And I'm like, tired? What are you talking about? I said, you need food. And then he said, yeah, I haven't been eating well. And I said, you need nutrients. And he just kind of looked at me, of course, like weird. But I could have gone into my story saying, you know, I used to eat a lot of non-nutrients and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's like a segue going into your story. And then tonight, Doug made the awesome sale of our microwave finally. We wanted to get it out of the house. And he's like, all right, you need to be available because we're going to see if this lady might be good business potential. And she was, actually. And anyway, so then he brought it up. And so then as she was walking out with the microwave, I had to tell my story really quickly. And so anyway, but if I had not been thinking about it tonight, maybe I wouldn't have told her my story.
Just keep going.
Oh, you want to mute people? Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't listening. Okay. All right. Thank you, honey. Maybe you should sit beside me. Okay.
Well, when they go yellow, that means they got a noise.
When they go yellow.
When the yellow box goes to them.
Oh, I have mine on gallery view. Okay. I'm not sure. But anyway, so you want to be ready with your story. And, you know, you want to realize that there's a line to infinity of people that we need to share our stories with. That all the time it can come up. And we were talking earlier too, instead of the DMO sheet that we have, which says talk to two of these people, back when I started, it was just talk to 2 people a day, talk to 2 new people a day. Ray Higdon says, make sure that eyeballs are on 5 presentations a week, I think it is. So you can think of it however you want, but unless we start a conversation toward Juice Plus, we're not going to get anywhere. And we all have unique stories, and the only way to really share from the heart is, and not have people start from their head knowledge to debate with you, is to tell your own story. Because if you start presenting, number one, they might be turned off. Number two, you might be the salesperson that you don't want to be. So you want to share your own story, you know, and it could start off by, I'm so thankful, or I'm so grateful that a friend of mine told me about this, you know, or shared with me how to flood my body with 30 fruits and vegetables. I really was a non-nutrient eater, or I really was a poor eater. Or whatever your story was, or I didn't realize I needed so many fruits and vegetables to feel this good. So your story can go in all different directions, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to know your bullet points. Okay, so we're gonna first see what we did with Michelle's story the other day, and we were just working on that as part of her coaching call, and I think that's what it was that we were doing, and so if we didn't get to that with your coaching call, the people that I've talked to, then we can, like Nikki, we're going to do tonight after Michelle. So this will give you an idea. I'm going to first share my screen, Michelle, and show the elements that are on I hope you guys know the name of our new website that is all about getting us started. The New Freedom Revolution. No, The Freedom Revolution. I always say new because it's so new to me. TheFreedomRevolution.com. So here I downloaded it. Okay, first you've got to download it because you could type a whole book and then it's going to be gone if you did not download it first. So you got to download it in order to type in it and have it saved. So down here after the memory joggers, it says sharing your product story, and you can read that on your own. There's a video about it also. So these are the things you want to think about. And Michelle, I was thinking about your story earlier. I'm not sure we put enough feeling into your product story. And so one way in which you can figure out or add emotion to your product story about Juice Plus is to think, what would I do if I didn't have Juice Plus anymore? So I want you to think about that, Michelle. Like, where would you be if you didn't have Juice Plus and now you have this knowledge of all these fruits and vegetables that we need, all this oxidative stress that we're undergoing every day, that the American Cancer Society poster is all fruits and vegetables, and that any disease that you run into, it says eat tons of fruits and vegetables. And there's so many toxins and things that they're doing to our food and our environment that we're really like in a battle every day. What would you do? How would you feel if you didn't have your Juice Plus now? Or turn it around. How thankful are you now that you have your Juice Plus, right? Anyway, so you've got to do some tweaking and thinking about these things as you're writing your story so that you make sure that you do have some emotion behind it. So the main questions are, what was life like before you started Juice Plus? Were there any negative emotions associated with that? And then what were they? This is so that you're thinking, what attracted you to Juice Plus? So sometimes you may not have a big story, but you have a logical reason. Or maybe you grew up in a family where you knew that fruits and vegetables were valuable. Or maybe you'd just done some research, or maybe somebody had just told you, or the doctor told you, or whatever. So what attracted you to Juice Plus? And sometimes that's going to be what makes sense to the other person, because you have some intellectual decision that you made based on what everybody knows, that you need more fruits and vegetables, that we're not getting enough. Those are usually the types of things that made sense, you know. Describe the changes you're experiencing since adding Juice Plus, or changes that you're hoping for. Like if you're new, you may not have a story at all. So it's changes like you're hoping for that you think will come, or that you're just really happy that now you have this safety net, you know, this reassurance of having more fruits and vegetables. How do or will those changes affect the quality of your life? What is the emotional impact? So they're really trying to get to the emotion with all these questions. So I love that they've put this into the starter guide now. And so Michelle worked on her story. I'm not sure if she used this before she did, and she can share with us whether she did or not. And then the business story. I love this. I don't know whether we should go over this right now, but I love that they have this acronym PLOT. What was the pain in your life? What is it that your background, or what is or was your background? What areas of your life were you dissatisfied with that made this business attractive to you? What did you realize that you needed to do in order for things to get better? The lesson, I realized we needed another stream of income. The opportunity, what features were exciting? Why was this an awesome opportunity? So you can see that you've got some work to do, right? And they give you a lot of good things to ask. The opportunity, and then the triumph. You know, what have you already accomplished? What do you plan on accomplishing? Stuff like that. And then they give you like even lines that you can fill in the blank, which is great. And then down here you rewrite it for both of them. So we may not get to all of that, but this is going to be a Zoom to hopefully encourage you to do that thinking, so that you will be prepared. And mostly you want to have your bullet points and your emotions. You know, if you were frustrated before because you were trying to juice every day, then that's a feeling word. If you were tired or I don't know, upset because you were at the doctor's office all the time, So you want to think of those feeling words. All right, so Michelle's going to share her screen now, and we're going to look at her story. You want me to unmute you?
Okay, so we worked on this, and then after we were just having a conversation, and then I went back and was modifying it. So I'll probably share both. So did you just want me to share the story we worked on?
Yeah,
initially?
tell them what we did when we got to your story. What kinds of changes did we make? Do you remember?
Well, before our call, I actually did go over the Freedom Revolution, and I watched the videos. And I looked at the outline. So exactly what you're showing is kind of what I did. And the videos they share with the different presenters for the different parts of our, setting up as a new rep, they shared how to set up your story, but then they also shared their stories. So then it all came together towards the end. So I kind of used that as my context, and I think we went in and we really cleaned up like extra wordage and just made it more succinct. So this is what we ended up with. But this is where she's saying she doesn't think there's a lot of emotion left. So I always connected healthy just to fitness. Then 7 years ago, I learned we were supposed to eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. I was in shock because I knew my family wasn't getting close to that. A mom introduced a simple way to get the nutrients from 45 fruits and vegetables every day. And the research on it blew me away. The changes we saw as a family, I don't have as a family, were incredible. My constantly sick, snotty nose, picky eater, 14-month-old did not get sick and started to finally eat fruits and vegetables. My daughter's constipation disappeared, and my husband's postnasal drip did also. I found the most benefit with my intense workouts. I had more stamina, endurance, and faster recovery from my intense workouts, which meant better results. It has changed our quality of life. So then we were having a casual conversation, and I was talking about some issues, health issues within my family. I had an aunt that passed away last week, and my uncle has cancer all over his body. And this is kind of where I was at when I first heard about Juice Plus 2. And I kind of thought, wait a minute, what's going on here? Is this in my DNA? Am I going to get this? Because everyone has all kind of disease in my family. So that I was telling Sharon, like, my family is dropping like flies. It's crazy. And this is another reason why I'm so into health and why I've decided I wanted to break the cycle of what is happening in our family. Is just ridiculous. And so then this highlighted, bold print up here is my family is dropping like flies, like from cancer, diabetes, dementia, and more. It's scary to think about what I have in my DNA. I knew I had to break the cycle of disease. That's why it instantly made sense when I learned about a way to flood my family's body with 45 fruits and vegetables every day. And then I haven't really finished it, guys. So I started off with that.
Right. And I think you could add that, you could either put that in your story. So there was a little more emotion. Scary. She said it's scary. And you could actually get a little more emotional about it, if you really thought about it. And then the other thing that I had left you a message about was that could actually be part of her passion for the business, why she's really so passionate about the business. And she could add that to the end of her business story, that she's on a mission now because her family's dropping like flies and she wants to break the cycle of disease, not just for her own family, but for others as well. So you could play around with that, So go ahead. So anyway, in her product story, I want you just to notice, and we did get rid of a lot of extra words, but also just the before and after, basically. And as much as you can add like a list of the benefits, then that's good, just to kind of have a comma between it. So it's not like this long drawn out story. And then she could say, I'm so thankful somewhere, because I think she's very thankful. Instead of it's changed our quality of life, she could add, I'm so thankful. Anyway, so adding some more emotion to it would be good. And then the business story. I liked her business story a lot more when we worked together, because it seemed like she's probably more passionate about that. Go ahead.
So, okay, for my business story, and I pretty much followed, once again, one of the videos where they were sharing how to construct your story. And so I had worked in the IT field for over 10 years. But when I first heard of Juice Plus, I was a struggling stay-at-home mom of 2. The economic crash and me losing my job, along with 2 new additions to the family, had us in foreclosure of our house and in financial distress. I knew I had to find a way to make some income to help relieve my husband from the financial stress we were in. That's when I met a complete stranger who was bold enough to share Juice Plus and a business opportunity with me. It was something I could do alongside being a stay-at-home mom. It was exactly what I had been looking for. And I was excited to make over $500 my first month. I have been sharing Juice Plus in a business for over 7 years, and it has since allowed us to buy another home that we love, and has given me the luxury to still be at home with the kids and be able to assist extended family I would not have been able to assist if I was back in a full-time structured job. And now I get to help others realize their dreams and give them hope to a brighter future with this business.
Which is great. And that's kind of long and a mouthful. So she's going to need to just pick out bullet points to remember. It could just be, she already knows the first sentence, I'm sure. I'd worked in the IT field and all that. But the home, and when I met Michelle, you were really racking your brain. You could even add that. But how many emotion words did you see in that paragraph compared to the other one? It's kind of like you really got in there with her. You felt it more. So, and maybe that's just because it's the business story versus the product story, and maybe that's just where it applies more, But just keep all that stuff in mind. And it is really good to refer to that whole workbook. I mean, the workbook is intense, and it's going to really bring out some good things for you. And then you want to share that with your sponsor or your leader or both, so that we can help, All right, so you can stop sharing your screen, and we'll go to Nikki. And we have not written out Nikki's story. And where's Nikki? I've lost Nikki. There she is. Okay, sorry. I'm looking at the whole gallery. Okay, so since we haven't written out your story, I can type really fast.
Okay.
So maybe I'll go to that booklet, okay? Let's see, I'm going to go to desktop. And then I've got to find the one I actually did open. Now it doesn't look like it's going to be the right one. So on this, it kind of, let me make sure this is the one. I'm going to save it again. I hope it works. Replace. Still comes up in the browser, Dougie. Oh, I think I got to go to Finder. Hold on. I just don't want to lose it after I type it. Okay, do you guys have any questions for right now? It didn't save it there. What the heck? Might need Dougie again.
Sharon, can I just say something?
Yes.
While you're looking for that, one thing that was super encouraging to me, Gordon Hester said to me one time at conference, or maybe it was a training, that your story is really constantly changing and evolving. And if you don't feel like you have like a life-changing story, that's okay. But you can get one. And so he said, just if you don't feel like you have a story, get a story. If you're not drinking 2 shakes a day, drink 2 shakes a day. If you're not on the omegas, get on the omegas. And a lot of times you'll see your story change your health story. And then as far as the business goes, you can always get a new business story too by action. Just doing more work. By sharing your product story more, you could have a different business story. So that's just
true.
encouraging.
That's awesome.
That's good thinking.
Okay. Thank you, Jules. Okay. And what else? You said some other things on Voxer today about the story. You were very excited about this call. Remember what those were?
Who, me?
No, sorry, Jules.
Oh.
Just that I just, you know, our business plan is 3 words: experience, share, join. That's it. That's all we have to do. So it's like, we really have to get it right, because that's the only thing we do. And our stories are so important to know, because when you know your story like the back of your hand, you will be more apt to share it at the drop of a hat. Like, of course, we're still going to have missed opportunities like Sharon did, but what if she didn't know her story? How many missed opportunities would she have then? And so I just think the opportunity cost of you not knowing your story is way too great for you not to do this.
Awesome. Okay, so Nikki, so up here are different questions than down here. Let's see.
Okay.
So let's just do some exploring. What was life like before you started Juice Plus?
So before we started Juice Plus, I thought we were really healthy, and my kids were in daycare because I work full time for now, and they were getting sick left and right. We spent an entire month. It was pretty much an entire month where we were healthy for about 4 days out of the month. Stomach bug, sickness, everything. It was, my husband and I were trading PTO days trying to figure out what we were going to do. And we just thought that was a normal part of life. We thought them being sick was just a normal part of, they're in daycare and they're around all these germs, and this is just what we have to do to build their immune system.
Okay, when were you introduced to Juice Plus?
So that was about 2 years ago.
Okay, and so it says, are there any negative emotions associated with what were they? Were you frustrated? Were you at a loss? Were you?
Oh, we were frustrated. We were exhausted. We were annoyed. Yeah.
Okay, notice that you can't really type on this thing very well, or at least I can't, because it doesn't wrap around. So just keep that in mind. So you want to stop yourself from going on and on. You have to go to the next thing. And they're going to hopefully do that better in 2.0, Brian Rose said. Okay, exhausted, annoyed, frustrated. That's really good. Those are good feeling words.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Then I learned about a simple way. See, the reason why they have here, then I learned about a simple way to flood my body with 30 fruits and vegetables every day, is because the minute you say Juice Plus, people start thinking it's a juice, or they've heard of it, or whatever. You want to be able to finish your story before they start their mind on a tangent. Okay, that's why we started to just move in that direction of saying flooding our body or getting the nutrition of in a simple way. So however you want to word it, try to hold the Juice Plus till later, make sure they're curious. Once you share your story and they look like they want to know more, or they say, I'd like to know more, then that's when you want to share more. Okay, so let me see. What attracted you to Juice Plus?
Getting my family healthy. I went to see Valerie Miles speak at Bear Creek, and that got me excited about Juice Plus. Hearing her speak and hearing what she had to say.
Oh, well, there's more. There's plastic ones over there.
Okay. So now changes. Let's see. Let's hear what changes you've experienced.
So changes. So now the boys are healthy. We haven't had a sick visit to the doctor in 2 years since we started. My husband and I are both healthier. Those are really the big changes I'm trying to think. Yeah, the boys are healthier. That's really the big one for us, was our kids are healthier and they were able to still go to daycare and not get sick and not contract every single thing that walked through the door.
Okay, so what did it mean to you?
It meant I didn't have to worry as much about them.
There you go. See, there's an emotion.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah. I didn't have to worry about them being sick. I didn't have to worry about taking days off of work. I didn't have to worry about our schedule.
All right, you'll have to throw this together. Okay, my husband, what about you and your husband being healthier? What does that mean to you?
To us, it means we can take care of our kids. It means we can be there for them because we're healthier, because we have more energy, that we're not getting sick.
I like the energy, because you already said you're healthier.
Yeah.
And so you want to be able to keep up with your kids.
Yes.
Especially at this age, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So something like that. How do those changes affect the quality of your life? What's the emotional impact? Did we miss anything?
That's our story. Yeah.
All right. I was going to say to make memories. That's just probably. So, love song. Okay. So, and then you could say, I'm very thankful my friend, told me about it, and I know it would help you, and you kind of transition into, I'd love to be able to send you some information, right?
Yeah.
And depending on who you're talking to, you might vary your story so that it is not a lie or anything, but you're kind of appealing to that person, what they're going through, so that then you transition back to them and say, I know you're also going through the same thing. I thought this might be helpful for you. And then I'd love to send you a video or invite you to an event that we have online. Would you be open to that? Okay, I see a lot of chatting. Should I be open to that? Oh, Nikki, perhaps not as worried, but relieved. Oh, that's good.
That's a good word.
Okay, where was that? Do I need to type that? Well, Nikki will remember. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's her story. Okay. The business story, and I know we're getting a little later. So let's talk about your pain. What areas of your life were you dissatisfied with that made this business attractive to you? I used to, or I do work as, I enjoyed it because the problem is.
So I was attracted to the business originally just as something to kind of maybe do on the side, maybe bring in some extra income. And my story has changed over the last few months, and it has changed within the last week. So I was attracted for the side income, but now I'm in because I know that there's a future with the Juice Plus company and there's a future in the business, that you can make a full-time living doing this.
All right, I'm going to make up your story. You used to work as a recruiter person, something like that. Alumni. What was it?
I used to work in fundraising. You can say I used to work in fundraising.
Okay. You enjoyed it because you're helping people, talking to people.
Yep.
Okay. The problem was it kept you away from home, or it
kept me away from home, kept me away from the boys. Yeah.
and
As having to choose career over them, choosing career over family.
plus
Yeah.
now you want to do what you love. You told me that earlier.
Yes, yes.
Okay, your lesson, we talked about this earlier today. Well, that was right. You want to, you don't remember, do what you love.
I don't remember. Wait.
You wanted to do what you love in life.
I want to do what I want. Yes. I want to do what I love in life. Yeah.
Which I already wrote. Okay. All right. So then I found the Juice Plus company, and you might need to read a little bit as far as the timeline, but sometimes the timeline doesn't matter after a while. You know,
Yeah.
just getting the story out there is important. Okay, so then I found the Juice Plus. It doesn't have to be then I found the Juice Plus company either. You don't have to use these words. My life changed in a great way. I got healthier, decided to build a business, helping others get healthier too, and I'm having fun doing it. I love that.
I get to share healthy living with other people.
Well, why is that important?
Because I get to help other people's other families learn how to get their kids to be healthier, to eat healthier, so that they're not sick, so we don't have to worry as much about our children.
What you went through, right?
Yes.
Okay, you'll have to finish that sentence.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, now doesn't have to be that you're celebrating anything, but now, just now, and then let's see, what did they say up here? Triumph. What have you already accomplished? What are you going to accomplish? Stuff like that.
So now I get to work a business that I love and be home with my kids more, and to also provide an income for my family.
Okay, and you'll finish that. All right, so that was Nikki's. Oops, I'm gonna say save, of course. Whatever. All right, so that's how you do it, okay? And then you work on it. Like now, she's got to put it in a paragraph form. Not that she's going to go around spouting off paragraphs, okay? Because people don't want to hear necessarily your whole story. They want to hear bits and pieces of your story in a conversation. Okay, so you've always got to be paying attention to how much they are loving your story or not loving your story, and you want to just stop and maybe finish your story in a minute, you know, give that space of time. So I see you nodding, Jules. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I'm just thinking people really don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I think it's important to like you engage and check back with them, ask questions. Are they, maybe they don't really care about more energy, but they care about this. And so, that's where you kind of pick and choose parts of your story. That's why it's good to know it really well so you can kind of pull out those pieces. But
Right.
It is so important to listen first, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like a cold market and you have to tell your story right away, but
Quickly, right.
yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully that helped you guys tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and encourage you, before I stop the recording, to print the booklet or download the booklet. Make sure you download it before you start typing, then save it. But use that as a working booklet. We finally have one. I remember like 6 months ago, I said to Brian Rose, I wish we had a starter guide again. And now there's a starter guide. I mean, how blessed am I? Because I got my dreams to come true. So you guys use it. I'm so excited about it. We're not going to have a Zoom next Monday because it's Memorial Day, and we'll be having a really good time with our families and friends. But after that, we'll come back to do more.